Taking things personally also means I got offended, I got hurt, or I felt insulted. Example A. You're standing in line and someone comes to stand in front of you. Second scenario. Someone talks behind your back and you find out, especially if that someone is someone you consider close to you. What about the friend that was on the phone, didn't give you their attention when you had something important to share with them? Lastly, we give but we don't receive what we expected back. At that moment, we start to feel disappointment, get hurt, and then we transform that pain into frustration by either telling them how bad they are or how wrong they are. If we are in the reactive type, then we try hard not to care. By turning our back, start walking away, not to fall down to their level. But even if we do walk away, something inside of us doesn't want to let it go. We're still frustrated and angry. And we repeat words in our head that goes like, I don't deserve to be treated that way. How dare they? Who do they think they are? Have they got no manners? Why are we holding on towards what happened? Because they put our value into question. We can relate the word value to something we all understand, which is disrespect. If we look closely at all the cases we mentioned, we felt less, like a diminishment or devaluation. So in other words, disrespect means to lower something's value. But if we already know our value, why aren't we at peace with what others say or do? Because we actually doubt our worth and we are in denial of it. Because of that, other people keep having power over us. What's the proof? Even though we try super hard not to care, they can intentionally or unintentionally turn on the thermostat and make us either hot or cold. And we really hate them for that. That's why we can't help but to feel like we are their victims. The question is, can we really become unaffected from other people? Yes, by understanding this one important statement. What other people do doesn't define who you are. It defines who they are, unless you identify with their words or actions. Let's pretend I say, that green shirt you're wearing is awful. You have an awful taste, but your shirt is red. Most probably you won't give a shit because you're not really identifying with the color I pointed out. In fact, most probably you'll think I'm just a lunatic that has a color blindness. But if I address the color you're actually wearing, well then maybe it will become personal because you identify with the color that I'm addressing. Do you get it? Now let's spice things up. I'll ask you 5 questions. The first answer that comes to you is what you must write down. Question number 1. What happens when someone laughs at you when you have made a mistake? Question number 2. What does it mean when your friend does not reciprocate back either your phone calls nor your text messages for days? Question number 3. What does it mean when you have made a change about your looks and you go see your friends or your colleagues, but nobody really makes a comment about it? Question number 4. What does it mean when we go to a cashier, we try to get her attention, and all she does is to chew gum and be on her phone? And the final question, question 5. What does it mean when you have called repeatedly a person to come and hang out with you, but they always find some sort of excuse and they never came to visit you? Now stop and reflect. How did you arrive at those conclusions? Have they told you? Did they tell you you're unimportant, you're stupid, you're not good enough, you don't matter, you're unwanted? No. You assume that. Remember what I said earlier. What people do does not define who you are, but it defines who they are, unless you find a way to identify with their words or actions. To better understand what I'm saying, imagine we steal a toy from a child and the child tries to find it. The child will think his toy just disappeared because he can't think of theft. He can't assume something he isn't programmed to believe. Remember the answers you gave me before? From where do these assumptions come from? They were formed long ago, way before our friend decided not to spend some time with us, and way before our spouse decided to watch the football game over spending time with us. They come from unresolved events in our childhood. And since our past remains unresolved, we get re-triggered as adults when a similar event occurs. For example, if we have a pre-existing belief that we are worthless, our brain will interpret outside events to match its programming. When we burn our food, when we fail at a task, when we drop something of value, when somebody does something better than us, or when we get criticized, guess what assumption will be triggered? It's like wearing glasses with a red tint. Things aren't red, but they seem that way to us. If our brain doesn't identify with what's on the outside, it won't affect us on the inside. In other words, people outside of us cannot affect us in any shape or form, no matter what they say or do. People on the outside cannot create feelings on the inside. But what they can do is to trigger our pre-existing beliefs that are sitting in the back of our mind. It's not their fault if we believe to be unimportant, and it's not their fault if we believe to be unrecognized. That shit is on us, and we need to take responsibility of our labels we attach to our identity. So, to conclude, what is the way out of taking things personally? 2 specific keys. First one, humbleness. Drop the idea of worth and destroy respect. Nobody owes you anything in this world. Nobody owes you value, respect, recognition, validation, attention, importance, or acknowledgement. Stop the urge to fight or try to prove yourself right because you don't get what you want. All these demands don't even come from the real you anyway. They come from the ego's pride that tries to fulfill itself from the outside, ending up enslaving himself to what others say or do. Key number 2, honesty. Stop fighting your triggers, which are the people that try to reveal what you believe already about yourself to be true. Take a breath and create space between you and your mind's assumption. How do their words or actions relate to me? How do they affect me? If someone tells you you're an awful person and somehow that gets to you, then look within you because you may carry guilt. You may have done things and you still live in regret. If we are too sensitive when we get criticized, perhaps it's because we already are blaming ourselves when we actually make a mistake. If we are called lazy and it hurts us, just know that inside of us, we know we're not giving our 100%. If nobody gives us attention and that pains us, it's because we already believe we are worthless company. What hurts is not what they do, but what we believe about ourselves to be true. The next time we get triggered, stop the ego pride that tries to hide behind respect and instead, with honesty, expose your self-weakness into the light. Bring your weakness close to you and embrace what hurts. By keep on being humble, admitting and revealing things about yourself, eventually nothing will be able to hide from you. Then, and only then, the world outside of you will no longer have power over you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And also, don't forget to comment below what is your challenge for this week. Thank you for watching this video. And thank you for wanting to help yourself because I am you and you are me.